So yesterday, President Trump had a large press conference with the head of FBI, head of DHS, a number of other individuals, including a number of independent journalists, to discuss Antifa. There were a lot of very interesting bits that we should be talking about here. One of the standout details is one of the reporters asked Trump whether or not he would suspend habeas corpus. That's the right to due process. And it was kind of funny. He's like, suspend who? Like that was the name of a person. And then he basically deferred it to Christy Nome. Christy Nome said, yeah, we haven't talked about that at all. But that even being a conversation, I mean, I get that that was a question that was asked to him. So it's kind of not the same thing. But yeah, that would be a problem. One of the independent reporters here discussed their own like internal investigation into Antifa and discovered in their own investigation at least how Antifa was being funded by a number of wealthy Democratic donors like George Soros and the DNC. And of course, Trump asked for that report to be sent to him so that could be passed to the FBI and DHS so those individuals could be investigated. And we already know that Scott Bessent is looking at funding for Antifa as well and looking to punish people that are funding Antifa. One of the key themes here, it seemed like there was a very broad and kind of more general and vague understanding of what Antifa was. Again, they understand the idea that it's not necessarily a kind of organization that, like say, Al Qaeda is, but they don't seem to understand that it is not an organization at all. Like they seem to insist that there is some sort of centralized authority, which, for all I know, I mean, who knows? Maybe there is, but it sure doesn't seem like it. But these independent reporters basically lambasted the traditional media outlets, especially the more liberal media outlets like MSNBC and CNN, for not going out and reporting about Antifa. And they describe basically Antifa as being the most violent and hostile organization in the country. And one of them even said that being around Antifa is the most dangerous place in the world. And he's been to, 15 countries, he says. Trump also blasted MSNBC and CNN saying that they are supporting Antifa, which again, whenever you're talking about, the situation getting to the point where habeas corpus gets suspended, where there's a domestic terrorist organization, and, there are all the different kinds of authorities and investigations that go into that. Yes, basically blasting major news networks as being part of that, that's not good. In either case, I mean, those were kind of the main things out of this whole ordeal. I mean, the Hamas peace agreement definitely overshadowed this, that's for sure. But I do think that this whole event basically reinforced that this is the boogeyman that this administration is looking at. And whether or not it is an actual boogeyman or not, I mean, that's kind of beside the point. What really matters here is what is being done about them. Look, Bush rightfully got blasted for the Patriot Act and spying on American citizens. But what we're at risk of right now is a heck of a lot worse.